The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions of WBGR Network.
They might hear the banging more than hear that.
Good morning and happy Friday. Today is Friday, November the 22nd, 2019. Thank you for viewing the Wanda's Warriors show. I'm so happy to have you with me today. I thank God for allowing me to have this platform to help others and to bless others as they come on the show. I need you to like, share, and start a watch party. Like, share, and start a watch party. This is the month. Next week is Thanksgiving, so I hope that you all will have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and remember to be thankful not just on Thanksgiving, but to be thankful every single day. So today I have an amazing new author with me, and her name is Alfreda Smith, and her book is called Writing to Heal, Come Back from a Knockout. And I'm going to read the back of her book, and then you will see Alfreda Smith. And the back of her book says she was hit with a TKO in 2017 when she battled 2 forms of cancer and her husband's abandonment, all in the same round of the fight. This was only a test for her, but for her family as well. They had to come together quickly as her support system. Within a 5-year period, God allowed her to go on a roller coaster ride like never before. She spent weeks in the ICU and had to come to terms with a lung cancer pneumonia diagnosis. She had to deal with suicidal thoughts, bouts of anxiety, depression, countless sleepless nights, and now onto victory. He laid her eyes down to show her a picture of her life, from where it was and then where it is now and where it is going. In this book, you will read her story of healing to include how she was able to overcome and find the strength to fight back the ongoing pain management with the love and support of her family, friends, mentors, and God's overwhelming blessings. She not only surprised her enemies by her comeback, but she surprised herself as well. All glory and honor to God. Wanda Warriors, please help me and show some love, do some hearts to Alfreda Smith. I'm so glad. This is the book. I got my book the other night, and I was just in awe reading it because so much of your book I can relate. It's like we have similar stories.
Yes.
We do.
Yes, we do.
So can you tell us how you got started with writing your book and how you came up with the title?
Oh, wow. Going through, I was still in a bitter place, because when you're getting hit with that diagnosis and the husband's abandonment, you're like shocked, you're numb.
Yeah.
So you really don't know which way to go, what to do. But thank God I had my family.
Yeah.
My family was there with me and they helped support me. But at the end of the day, I had to learn how to heal from the surgeries that I have overcome. I had to learn how to heal and to prepare myself back for life. So I ended up going to a therapist, which I was kind of like hesitant in going because I didn't want nobody to tell me what was wrong with me or what I need to do.
I was hesitant when I was diagnosed with breast cancer. At the cancer center, it was mandatory that we had to go through counseling because they said cancer, whatever cancer it is, like if it's lung cancer, breast cancer, it doesn't affect just that physical part of it, affects your mental. Yeah. And I was like, what people gonna think?
Exactly.
When you go through.
Because she called. We had a case, counselor called us from the insurance, and she kept calling, and I just I didn't want to speak because I was still going through. So eventually she called and I picked up the phone and I talked to her. And so she recommended me to see a therapist, you know, and I kind of pushed back, but I ended up going. And so the therapist was kind of hard on me at the beginning. I didn't want to hear certain things, but she was so right.
Real.
She was pulling things out of me that I didn't want to hear, but I needed to hear.
Yeah.
And so one thing she said, I need to do a journal. She said I need to do a journal every day. She said because that'll help me come back, you know. So I started writing and I started doing a journal, and so it did help me, you know, it helped me heal myself. It helped me face my fear, face my challenges, and it ended up resulting into a book. You know,
and that's when I started. When I was diagnosed with breast cancer, a dear friend of mine, because I was living in Atlanta, she sent me a journal, and every day when I would come home from my radiation treatments, I would start writing. And it's like when you start putting things down on paper, you're like, I was thinking that.
Yeah.
You know, it's
crying.
like, where did they crying and where did that thought come from? But at the same time, it's therapeutic.
It's therapeutic.
And it's healing. It really is. So how did you find out that you had cancer?
I think for a couple of months, I was dealing with like chest flutters, and they was really big. It was a lot of flutters, and I didn't know what in the world was going on, so I kind of like ignored it a little bit. But then I went to the doctors, and they said it was nothing. You know, they said it could have been anxiety. First they said it could have been anxiety. So then I ended up going back to the ER, and he was like, if the blood work is fine, your chest X-ray is fine, everything's fine. I was like, something's not right. I said, can you just at least do a CT scan? He said that would be our next order. So he did that, and that's how he found the two masses, one on my chest and one on my lower left lung.
Wow.
That's why I was like saying, you know, although the doctors diagnose you, if you're not comfortable with that diagnosis, keep going. Because you know your body. You know what's going on with your body. I'm going through something right now where I'm going, and they're actually diagnosing me off the symptoms. But I know it's something else. So I'm keep going until I find out what's going on. Because I've been through too much.
Yeah, and
not
you
to
know
just lay
your body.
there. Exactly.
And a lot of times we have to be our own advocate.
Absolutely.
For our bodies. And we say that all the time in the
Exactly.
breast cancer community. You know, you can go to one doctor and it's like you feel something, you may feel a lump or something.
Yes.
And you're like, something isn't right. And that doctor will be like, oh, just dense breasts or calcifications, you know, and that comes from drinking a lot of caffeine. Your breasts get real tender and sore.
Exactly.
And you're like, no, something is not right.
Something's
and
not right.
we have to be our own advocates.
We have to be our own advocate.
For our body.
We know our body.
Something, you need to do another test. Or if that
Exactly.
doctor refuses
Exactly.
to do another test, then you have the right to go to another doctor.
But our God is so good, though.
Yeah.
He's so good. You know, he puts you through these tests to show you people, show you yourself, show you where he wants you to be.
Exactly.
Because our choices is not always God's choices.
No, it isn't.
So he's like, no, you're going to listen to me because I didn't bring you this far for you to fall back.
Exactly.
He wants me in a place where he want me to go. So I have to lay back and listen.
Yeah. And a lot of times those valleys that we're in, whether it's a bad marriage or cancer or financial ruins, in those valleys is where we grow.
Is where we grow.
In those valleys is where God molds us.
Exactly.
Those valleys is where God builds our faith and build character.
Exactly.
And we don't like, why God, why am I going through this? You know,
but then you feel it.
You feel it. And you're like, okay,
I'm like,
he's carrying me.
Yeah. And I didn't know I was strong enough to do this. I didn't know I was strong enough to write a book.
Yeah.
You know, so when he molding you, you're going to feel those challenges in your body because he's molding you to be like him.
Yeah.
You know, so we can't be defensive over it because it's God.
It's
God. You can't even fight. You can't fight him.
Yeah.
Every time you fight him, you're going to fall.
Because one way or the other, he's going to get you to do what he
wants you to do.
Like, and that always reminds me, and I always say, you know, like with Jonah, my journey is like with Jonah. You know, running away from the call.
Exactly.
You know, he's like, I'm going to get on this ship and I'm going to go far away. You know, and that's what I did when I left Maryland and went to Atlanta.
Yes.
You know, in 91. Oh, I'm going to another state.
Exactly.
Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, God don't know I'm in Atlanta.
Exactly.
You know? But it's like, you can run, but when God got a calling and a purpose for you, he gonna get your attention.
He's gonna
one
get your
way
attention.
or the other.
And boy, does he get your attention, guys!
And then afterwards, you're like, well, maybe I should have listened the first time.
Exactly. I mean, we've been bumped our heads so many times.
I know.
I'm like, I could just look back. I'm like, oh my God, if I would just listen. But you learn from each mistake.
You do.
You just get stronger and you get stronger and you get stronger.
And it's the build, not only, because your physical strength, cancer takes a lot.
It takes a lot.
From your physical strength, but the endurance.
Exactly.
In your spirit, man.
Exactly.
You gain.
I really
from
don't know
going through
how
those.
I survived that.
Yeah.
Well, then I guess I do. It was God and it was my family and my friends, and I thank you so much for that. Because it was times, as you know, in the book, I wanted to give up.
Yeah. And
but God wouldn't let me give up.
God, no. And I love that you kept saying, and even in the book, when you was talking about how your family and your friends supported you.
Oh, yes.
Support is so important when a person is going through whatever test or trial that they're going through. And I always say people will support you until it's time to support you.
Exactly.
And you really find people, and I say that again, people will support you until it's time to support you.
Exactly.
People will say, oh, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Time comes, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
But
like,
and it's like, wait a minute, where's everyone at?
But then I'm at fault too because I suffer in silence a lot because I don't want a lot of people to feel sorry for me or worry about me or just have that opinion of me. So that's something I gotta work on. Yeah. But I do, and I appreciate the support that I have from my family. I really do. But it's just like I can family. Beautiful family.
I love your family.
Beautiful family and friends.
And so if anybody wants to call in today, you have any questions, or if you want to, give some encouraging words to Alfreda, please call 301-429-9247. That's 301-429-9247. And when you're going through your journey, I mean, you went through multiple journeys, setbacks at one time.
Yeah.
You're diagnosed financially.
Yeah.
You had a setback, and you talk about that in the book. Can you tell us in detail about that and how God gave you a miracle even in the finance aspect?
Yeah, just the diagnosis alone was I was just in shock. And I just was just going through, and I guess at the same time, my husband and I, my ex-husband and I, we was going through some challenges. But I thought at that time that will all be put aside and that you would be there for me, because at that time I needed that support. I needed that arm. I needed to lay in your arm. I needed that support. And sometimes men can't handle that. You're already going through and they can't handle that. Okay. And but I still pushed through, and I was concerned about my job, my finances. But I remember I had AFLAC. I had 3 policies. One policy that I was getting ready to give up, the hospital policy, I was getting ready to cancel it. Thank God I didn't.
Thank God you didn't, and you hold that thought.
Sure.
We have a call on line 1, so we're going to see who's calling in. Thank you for calling the Wanda Warriors Show. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Nina Crump, District Heights, Maryland.
Good morning, Nina Crump. The beautiful. Somebody has the.
I'm Nina Crump.
Good morning, Nina.
Hey,
can you hear us?
Good morning. I am so excited. Yes, that's my little sis for you. And Wanda, I tell you, sis.
I need the tissue.
Good morning.
Somebody has their phone up so we can hear echo.
Hello?
We hear you.
There we go. Okay, good. So I just want my sister to know I am so proud of her. When you talk about a strong woman, that's a strong woman. Oh my God. I tell you, I call her my hero.
Thank you, sis.
Okay, can you cut your sound off? Because it's an echo coming through the phone. Just turn it down on your phone.
Okay.
Yeah, the producer came in here and said, tell her turn her phone down.
Okay. I turned it off.
Yes.
You good?
Yes. He came in here and said, tell her turn her phone down.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to try this again. That sounded like Waleem.
I asked her, I said, is your mom going to call in today?
She is my sister's my hero, and I just thank God for her. Even through all that she went through, she's standing and to see what God is doing in her life. And sis, I just want you to know I am so godly proud of you, and the best is yet to come. I tell you.
Amen.
Yet to come for you. Wanda, again, thank you for having her on the show, because I tell you, that sister of mine, she rocks.
Yes, she does. I told her, I said, when I was reading her book, I said, our stories are so much in common.
Yes.
There's so much in common.
I tell you, when I talked, I was like, wow, there's so much,
Yeah.
but look at God. He knows what he's doing. A lot of times we don't know.
That's true.
And after things happen, it's just like, well, okay, God, now I know.
Yeah.
And he gives us the strength, and I tell you, he does it for us. That's when we know God has our back. And again, I know the callers be calling in, but I just want you to know, sis, I love you. I'm proud of both of you ladies.
Thank you, Nina.
Too, sis.
Thank you for being the big sister that you are, sis. I love you so much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. That is so special. God,
That's
love
my
Nina.
big sis. I'm telling you,
I
that's.
love her.
Boy, she don't have it. When you want to give up, she be like, I don't want to hear it. She put the hands on your head.
I know when at the end of Alfreda's book, she has testimonials, and they're from family and friends, and then she has some laughable moments. And that was so funny. You said when Nina was walking down the hall,
I heard that the way she walked hard anyway. I said, something's going on. We didn't know it was her first, but until she came in the room.
Yeah.
And she started crying, and she was telling me the conversation they had with the cab driver. And he said, just pray for your sister. She's going to be fine. And she took them hands and put them on my head. I was like, oh, Lord, I'm about to go in the coma.
That was funny when you wrote that. Okay, we got another caller. Thank you for calling the Wanda's Warriors show. What is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Sabrina Smith. I'm calling from Capitol Heights.
Good morning, Sabrina Smith.
Sissy.
Good morning.
Alfreda can hear you.
Hi, Frida.
Hey, Sissy. That's my power woman.
That's
sister
your other
too.
sister. Yeah. Nina just called in.
Okay, Frida.
Yes.
Hi, boo. I just wanted to say how proud I was of you. You look so beautiful in there with your book signing. That's how you're supposed to look. That's where you're supposed to be. And I just wanted to tell you how proud I was. And Wanda, thank you for having my sister on the show.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Sissy. I love you so much.
I love you too. You look so beautiful. Oh my God.
Thank you.
That's what God got for you. You are right where God needs you to be, and I need you to know that. Right where He needs you to be.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for calling in.
All right, thank y'all.
Have a great day.
I'm gonna need more of this.
I know I have that little thing of tissue. I'm gonna start bringing in a big old box of Kleenex. But before we went to the callers start calling in, and you was talking about abandonment and how you thought that your husband would be there for you. And when we were texting one day, I sent you an article it's called, in the cancer community, there's a term that is called the cancer kiss-off.
Kiss-off, yes.
Yeah, and I want to let the viewers know about that. And if you Google cancer kiss-off, you're going to get Huffington Post did an article on it, and the Today.com did an article on it. And it's something that even when I was at the Cancer Center in Atlanta, I went through that.
Yeah.
You think your significant other will be there to help you through that.
Yes.
Endeavor, that part of your life, and they're not there. And there was a lady that was getting treatments when I was getting treatments, and she had a mastectomy. So, she had to stay in the hospital longer. And the day of her discharge, she was waiting for her husband to come and pick her up. And he never picked her up. Oh, so she had to call people to come and get her. And when they came and got her, when she got home, he had left her a note saying that it was too much for him to deal with. And that's when I was introduced to the term of cancer kiss-off. So I pulled up the article because I want the listeners, because a lot of people, they'll, either cancer is going to make that person, the relationship stronger.
Yes.
or it's gonna show you who people are. That's why I always
Yes.
say people will support you and be there for you until it's time for them to step up to the plate to do so. So it's called Cancer Kiss Off, Getting Dumped After a Diagnosis. Isn't this is crazy? And it's a lady that wrote this, and it says, getting diagnosed with breast cancer is bad enough, but getting dumped by the guy you're seeing right afterwards is sort of like finding a piece of spoiled lettuce on your sandwich. Granted, the guy I was dating wasn't exactly my husband or even steady boyfriend material. It was far too early for that, but there was something else until things started getting heavy. Then not only was the something gone, so was he. Unfortunately, I'm not alone when it comes to the cancer kiss off. And the lady, she was diagnosed with breast cancer 10 years ago. She came home from her first radiation treatment to an empty house. Her husband said he couldn't go with me. He was too busy at work. So he couldn't go with his wife for treatments. But when she got home, all of his stuff was gone. I felt like somebody had punched me in the gut. Interestingly enough, people have actually studied this phenomenon and discovered that a woman is 6 times more likely to be separated or divorced shortly after a diagnosis of cancer or multiple sclerosis than a man diagnosed with the same diseases. Researchers at 3 medical centers looked at 515 patients, some with a malignant brain tumor, some with multiple sclerosis, and some with cancerous tumors from melanoma, lymphoma, colorectal cancer, etc. Almost half of the patients were women. The results were similar across all 3 types of cancers. And it was that a man, and some people call it a partner abandonment in issues with in patients with serious medical issues. And they find that women who had abandoned male partners, but the differences were striking. You know, sometimes if a man get prostate cancer, the woman may leave, but those statistics were lower. And it said men may be very well equipped to be primary providers, but not so well equipped to be primary caregivers. And so, I mean, the lady goes on in this article and she's like, how can the person leave you? And then one person tried to justify it in this article, and it said because men are fixers. And this is something that they can't fix. But then the spiritual aspect when you're married is through sickness and in health.
Yeah, sickness and health. And you stand there in front of the pastor and you say that. Well, 2 things. My mentor, one of my mentors, she was telling me when that happened, when I was going through and I was talking to her about my situation, she knew at the beginning when I was talking about my situation to hold back on her assessment of what I was going through. So when she's saying that I was doing better, she said, I'm going to tell you this because you was wondering why, if him being a firefighter and he see patients and why he wasn't, his heart wasn't there for his wife, why wasn't he there for me? She said, he drops the patients off and leave them and they take care of them. So that doesn't mean that he really has a heart to fix them, you know, or help. I'm like, but I'm his wife. She said it doesn't matter. And then I thought also said that it was my choice for him, but it wasn't God's choice.
That's
you know,
true.
not saying that he's a horrible person. He just made a horrible decision.
Yeah.
You know, horrible decision. And I said, I forgive him. And I said, I forgive him and I hope you forgive me if any wrongdoings I may have done.
Yeah.
But I was like, you need to forgive yourself.
Exactly.
And you need to move on.
And forgiveness is so important in that journey. But we have another calling in,
Sure.
and we're going to see who this is.
Sure.
Thank you for calling the Wanda's Warriors Show. What is your name and where are you calling from?
This is my name is Wanda Smith. My daughter Alfreda is going to be speaking today, and I just wanted to give a message to tell her that I know she's going to do well, and I love her.
I hear you, Mommy.
She hears you. How are you today?
I'm doing wonderful, honey. Just having a great time cleaning up.
Hi, Mommy.
So I said hi, and I love
she doesn't
her.
hear me.
She can hear you.
Okay, love you, Frida. Know you're going to do well, honey.
Thank
Love
you. Thank you, Mommy. Love you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
You're welcome. That
That's
is
Mama.
so sweet.
That's
That is
Mama.
so sweet. So even in your book you wrote that even your doctor, you was having anxiety attacks.
Yeah.
And so even your doctor told you to take control of your anxieties or your family will lose you. Your doctor said that you needed to focus on your health and not worry so much about your abandonment from your husband. So how did that make you feel for a physician to tell you that?
I mean, he really socked it to me because he was like, look, I'm here to take care of you. He's like, but it's nothing we can do if we keep coming. They say your heart rate and your blood pressure is keep going up and down. He was like, forget him. Put him to the side. We need to take care of you. We need to get you back to the family who's out there waiting for you to get better. There's people out there that cares about you. He's not here. Forget it. Oh well. That's his loss. I mean, he was a straight shooter. He was a straight shooter.
Like,
and I'm looking like, I don't want to die, because he was like, look at your reports. They keep going up and down. You know, they're going up and down, up and down. And it was one point where my heart rate was going up. And I didn't know, because I thought I was just relaxed. This was after my first surgery, my second surgery, and I was in ICU. And I was looking at all the doctors, and I'm like, oh, okay, why do they keep coming and looking at the monitor? And they just kept looking, they was going up, and they was like, how you feeling? I was like, I'm okay. But more doctors kept coming in, and I'm like, why are they coming in? And they was like, no, we just check your heart, because your heart rate is not going down. And I seen them getting ready, I forgot what you call it, defibrillator or whatever. They was getting ready to I was like, wait a minute.
Wait, hold on, what y'all finna do?
I started turning on my gospel music, and I was just calm. And so one of the doctors came, he was like, hold up. He was like, do you suffer anxiety? I was like, yeah, from what I'm just going through right now. And they was like, give her something else. I don't know what else they gave me, but my heart rate started going down. So it was anxiety. And so Dr. Nawari came in later that day. He was like, you got to give it up.
You got to give it up.
He said, you got to give it up, because they tested me to see if I was having a heart attack. And I didn't, but I'm like, but I thought I was okay. But in my mind, I was still thinking about it. Thinking about that, and just thinking about being well, and thinking of the, if they have to do more after the surgery, they have to do chemo and stuff. It was a lot of stuff
going on in your mind.
Yeah, and I think the anxiety was just building up. Yeah,
and I love that you mentioned forgiveness, because that's something that I too had to learn, on my own journey. And it's easy for people to say forgiveness, but at first that forgiveness has to start with ourselves. And then, you can go to that person and say, can you forgive me, for whatever. You can be, transparent or whatever. And if they don't decide to forgive you, that's on them.
It's on them.
You've done your part.
That's their relationship with God.
Yeah, and I always say, a quote that I post a lot on Facebook is, forgiveness is me giving up my right to hurt you for hurting me.
Yeah. Oh.
I always say that. Because we feel that we're entitled. Somebody do something to us, oh, well, I'm going to come back at you.
But
true forgiveness is giving up your right.
Yeah, retaliation is not worth it.
Exactly, because God said vengeance is His.
Oh yes,
so you do your part, you forgive, move on. And a lot of people, they'll say, "Oh, I forgave them," but then that person can do something to you, and it'll, you start playing tit for tat.
Exactly,
that's not true forgiveness,
and it's drainful. It's just you have to work on becoming 100%. Getting ready. I had to do that, to get ready to go back to work, and just start my life over again, and then show my daughters and my grandkids and my family that even though we go through this, we can push through it. We're going to be strong. It was a tough fight, but I had to show them. I was like, I don't know why God picked me. I don't know why. It's just times I wanted to commit suicide, and I never thought I would ever think about that, ever in my life. But it came through my thought, and it came through my thought, and it became a plan. How did it become a plan to do that?
Because the seed was planted in your mind.
Exactly.
And a lot of times, once that seed has been planted in your mind, it's like you want to carry it out to get rid of your physical pain.
Exactly.
That's when you just got to give everything over to God.
You have to give everything to God.
My youngest son that was murdered, like a couple years before he was murdered, he had tattooed across his chest, and it said, "Let go, let God." And he was about 20 when he had that. Those 4 words are so powerful. Let go, let God.
Right.
And I was like,
stop carrying all the baggage.
Leave it to God. And it's like we carry things, and a lot of times, the bitterness, resentment, unforgiveness, all of those things can cause illnesses
Exactly.
in our body. And I didn't know
Exactly.
that. And I remember when I had my stroke at the age of 38.
Wow.
And the doctors, they was running all these CAT scans and everything. It's like, you don't have high blood pressure and all of this. And they was like, are you under any stress?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah. And he was like, well, this is what brought it on. And I'm like,
Oh, Lord.
I didn't know stress could do that.
Yeah.
You know? And so when you're, like, with you diagnosed with cancer and going through abandonment, but your family was there, how did that
Immediately.
Immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have people that were around you before the cancer diagnosis and then afterwards that they weren't there?
Family was always there, but it was a couple of people that wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard. Some people, it's hard to see people sick. Somebody that you love, somebody that you see have this bright light all the time. Hey, hi, you know, and then you see them fall down. Some people can't handle that.
Yeah.
You know, but I did thought that my husband would be there.
Yeah, of all people.
I thought he would stick it out because marriage is not perfect. Marriage, you're going to go through your ins and outs.
True.
You're going to go through your trials and tribulations, you know. But again, God just showed you who can handle it, who can handle it and who can't. And you can't hold it. You can't hold that grudge. You can't be bitter. You got to move on. And he was just showing you. You know, this one is not for you. This friend is not for you. You know, you just gotta when you see him, hey, how you doing? And you keep it moving.
And a lot of times, you know, we're going through certain trials, everything that you've gone through, and you're like, in the back of your mind, why am I going through this?
Exactly.
God, what is it? The lesson
exactly
that you want me to get out of this? But you're born for this.
Oh my gosh.
You're born for this. You get it? You're born for this.
Yes.
And so as we go to the commercial break, the song that you will hear during the commercial is called Born for This by B.B. Winans.
Yes.
Listen to the lyrics of this song, Born for This. And we're going to come back after the commercial break and we'll have more with Alfreda Smith. But listen to this song. It's called Born for This by B.B. Winans.
Love you guys.
Why not me? I ask myself, was the song I sang off key? Hold back those tears. Convince yourself just wasn't meant to be. Some wish upon a star and hope one day that wish comes true. But I'm asking God with much regard, how the dreams I want taboo. Born for this, destined for greatness. Am I prepared for this? Your strength for my weakness. Found that life's not always easy. Question if it's worth the risk. Follow my heart and it will lead me. And yes, I was born to be. I will not go. They told me no. There's nothing down there for me. Lying in my bed, can't get it out of my head. Am I where I'm supposed to be? Can't let the words control my life. My pride I will defend. If I work hard, won't it take me far? And in the end, will I win? Born for this, destined for greatness. Am I prepared for this? Your strength for my weakness. Found that life's not always easy. Question if it's worth the risk. Follow my heart and it will lead me. And yes, I was born for thee. If I stay here wait, my dreams will die. Can't be afraid to try again and fly. If I ever lose my way because my heart is torn, never let it question why, the very reason I was born. You are born for this, born for this, born for this.
Warrior Show. We're back from our commercial break, and the song that you heard on the commercial break was called Born for This, and that song is by B.B. Winans, and I hope that you enjoyed the lyrics. And it's a lot of times I was telling Alfreda, we're going through things, and we've gone through things, and it's like, why am I going through this? Mm-hmm. And it's like, God has a reason for everything.
Exactly.
And a calling. But everything that we've gone through, He equipped us because we were born.
Exactly.
For this.
Exactly.
And look at you now. You probably would have never thought in a million years that you would be an author.
Absolutely.
You done. I don't want to use the term survive. You've conquered.
Yes.
Cancer.
Yes. Exactly.
And you're moving forward.
Exactly. That song really touched my heart one day when I was driving to work, because you always have doubts. Is the book going to be a success? Are you going to be a success as a whole? Yeah. And that song, because I liked another song on his CD, I think it's Jesus Lives, but then Born to Live came on. Yeah. It was confirmation. God said, "You born for this.
You're born for this.
Don't let the enemy be a playground in your head. Mm-hmm. Stop. Don't let that. You put that to the side." Exactly. God said, "You're born for this. I brought you to this, and this is where."
Yeah, and I like when He also says, "Born for this, destined."
It's destined for greatness.
I love that. I mean, just those lyrics, they are so powerful in that song. And one thing I wrote down, I was showing you, and I wrote quotes and stuff. I didn't write the page numbers. I've read her book last night, and I got pages folded and all kinds of stuff. This book was so good. And you made a statement in your book, and you said, sometimes God breaks you down to save your soul. Yes. I was stumbling and losing myself for a long time, and He had to shut it down.
Shut it down. Sometimes he have to break you down, because the thoughts that in your head, like, am I in the right marriage? Am I in the right place? Did you do this? I mean, it was like He was trying to show me. Yeah. He was trying to show me. It was signs. He was just trying to show me. And not saying it was bad on him or bad on me. It was just signs that saying that it was my choice. Yeah. And He had to show me by breaking me down to show me the truth. Yeah. And that was hard. It was hard to see. And it was hard for my family to see, you know, because we all liked Him and loved Him, you know, and it was just hard for it was hard for us to see that.
Yeah. And it's not so much that they're
and with some friends too. Yes, exactly. You know,
it's a lot of
just
times situations will go into relationships, you know, whether it's our flesh involved,
right,
you know,
exactly.
And, you know, and we're like, you know, well, thinking that they can be this or that. But that's when you have to be rooted and grounded in God and have discernment.
Right. Exactly.
And let God follow you, because He's going to bring that right person into your life. Because as the song, you're destined for greatness. And so you're linking up with someone who can't handle the anointing that God has on your life.
And we sometimes try to fix people. Yeah. And at the end of the day, when they're gone, you're still broken. You continue to be broken. So how can you fix yourself when you bring somebody in to think it's going to cover, band-aid you, and you still trying to fix them, and you're not fixed.
You're not fixed. And I think a lot of times as women, we're guilty of that. I mean, that's just our nature.
Exactly.
You know, to be fixers. And I remember when I was going through my divorce, and then that's something that the counselor, how you said, they get in your face and they break it down, and I looked at him like, I rolled my eyes.
I wanted to get up and walk away.
It was like, who are you to tell me I'm a fixer? You know? It was like, but I didn't look at it that way. It was like, okay, I'm just trying to help this person along. And it was like, no, you can't fix something that's broken within them.
Exactly.
And
you can't fix them, and you broken too.
Yeah.
You know?
Two broke people can't.
Right. The Band-Aid's going to come off.
Exactly, because their wound is going to still
It's going to grow.
There.
It's just going to grow.
And infection is going to continue to spread in that wound, even spiritually. Because that wholeness of God isn't there. So, especially if you're in a relationship where God isn't the head of the relationship.
And
like,
when you
do you pray together? Do you do ministry together or seek God together? So did you and your husband or ex-husband, did y'all pray together? Or
we didn't. God wasn't there. It was more like I was more into church than he was, and he would go because I went. So when I go and I'm praising God and you're just sitting there, you know, he could have been feeling the spirit. People feel it different ways, but I felt it like I can't praise him like I want to when he's there, but I can praise God freely when he's not there. So that played a factor too. What God said, I didn't pick him. Yeah, you picked him.
We picked him, and then it's like sometimes we'll stay in these relationships longer than we should.
Exactly, because you think you're getting older, you don't want to be by yourself. Yeah. But if it's the wrong relationship, you are by yourself.
You are by yourself.
You are
married and single.
Exactly.
Married and single.
Exactly.
And I also like that you wrote your knockout brought you to a place called Refresh. Yes. Can you elaborate on that?
It helped. God laid me down to not only look at who was there for me, but then look at what I need to fix within myself. So he showed me where I need to work, things I need to work on, getting back up, going back to work, being refreshed. I mean, I ended up going back to work, and I ended up, the team was really there for me. The support system there was awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. Everybody doesn't have that with their employer.
Exactly. I ended up advancing to become a manager there. That's awesome. It was like when I went back, God was just like, I have all this designed for you. Yeah. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. He was like, I get step by step. Don't worry about the finance. Don't worry. Yeah. Because I was worried about everything.
You was worried about finance. And like you had said earlier that you had Affleck insurance and you was going to cancel. So tell them how God blessed you.
Yeah. Because I had the cancer policy for years because I had colon cancer also in 2002. And thank God I'm still delivered from that. And then I kept that policy, but years later I ended up getting the accident policy and the hospital policy. So then just before the enrollment, I was like, well, I'm canceling the hospital policy. I'll be fine. If anything happens, I still have my accident policy. Yeah. And diagnosis happened. Yeah. A couple of weeks later, I said, oh my God, I thank God that I didn't cancel that policy because that's where I got paid the most.
Yeah, they paid your bills.
God said, I got you because I did ask him. I was like, well, can you pay? I reached out to my husband. I was like, well, can you pay the condo fees? At least until I get better. He never responded back or none of that. So that's when I went really into anxiety or whatever like that. Yeah. But God was like, I got you.
I got you.
I was able to pay my rent, my mortgage, my car note, everything on time with all my bills. I was like, oh my God, it's so good.
I think a lot of times, and I don't think we do it intentionally. Right. But we want to keep God limited.
Exactly. Exactly.
We know like he's a big God. Right. It's like, well, can God really do this?
Can he do this?
And
he show us every time.
And he said, look, he made the world in 6 days and then he rested on the 7th. So, of course I can pay your rent or your car note or your mortgage or your electric bill. look at all of this that I made in 6 days.
Exactly.
But I think we want to keep him in a box sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we can't, because he's the only one. Like now, it's like he's still having this one-on-one with me. You know, just dealing with certain types of anxiety. You know, it's this. I'm dealing with my scar, and I had to get injections in my scar, and I think they gave me too much of a dosage, and I think the side effects started playing with me, like my heart palpitations, headaches, and so I'm back and forth to the hospital like 7-8 times, not knowing what's really going on.
Wow.
And so I'm like, oh my gosh, what is really going on? So it's pretty much my relationship, me and God. We're going through, like my uncle mentioned, he's like, it may be spiritual warfare that you're going through. It could be the side effect that you're going through that's giving you that, but you're dealing with anxiety, panic attacks, and I'm like, oh my gosh, the enemy is really trying to work. I'm trying to, my book, trying to, you know, produce my book, and then all this is happening. But God's saying, don't give up.
A lot
you
of
keep
that,
going.
Yeah, a lot of that is warfare. You know, I went through that. You know, the anxiety.
Yeah, I've never been through that before in my life.
When my son was killed, and it's like you feel your heart. It just feels like it's going to come out your body, and you're getting warm, and your headaches,
warm,
and
your
it's like sometimes your mind just blinks out. But to me, that's when you know that call. It's so great on your life, you know, because the enemy, he wants you to know you can't do this. How are you going to get in front of people? You know, how are you going to finish writing your book and you're having anxiety attacks? Or, you know, as you stated in your book, PTSD.
Yes.
You know, I want to do a show on PTSD as well, because that is a term that a lot of people take lightly.
I did.
It shouldn't be.
You know, I did. I thought it was just that somebody, you in a car accident or
the war.
Trauma, the war, you know.
The war.
But mentally, when you're going through something mentally that hurts you, you go through that as well, because loud noise, anything, it just triggers like something in my head. I'm like, is that from the anesthesia that I had? I'm like, what is going on? But really, it's trauma.
It's trauma.
It's trauma than what you went through.
That's something that my doctor recently, you know, had brought to my attention. And I was like, well, I thought people in the war, you know, that's what you think, you know. But to me, it's just God still got us.
Yes,
you know, God brought you out, you know, with your books and through cancer. You know, did you do chemo? Or?
I didn't do chemo. They did remove the large mass off my center of my chest. And that's where my scar is that, you know, sometimes I struggle with. But I got to look at this. God, this is God's way of showing me that I survived and I healed. Then they removed the lower left lung. The lower left piece of my lung.
A lot of people, we tend to focus, because I was guilty of this, you know, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer and I did the radiation, and my skin is very sensitive anyway. And so once this whole side was dark, you know, from the treatments, and then, you know, it was a whole different heat in Atlanta. And so, you know, when I wear my sundresses, and then you could see that this side was dark, and people would look at me funny, you know, and I was like, it's hot, I can't cover up, you know. But then I use those moments as teachable moments. So that's maybe something that you can, you know, do. If somebody sees a scar and they're like, what happened to you? And you can educate them. I had cancer. God brought me out. This is the scar that shows that, you know, I survived. You know, I made it through. And a lot of times, you know, in our community, the breast cancer community, we have what is called the radiation glow. And on a lot of my pictures, I see that, and I'll send a picture to one of my girlfriends, and I say, can you see the glow? She's like, if you don't stop sending me, but you need those people, you know, in your life, you know, like what need. Girl, get up.
You do.
Stop worrying about that. You're living, you're
like
breathing.
They're like, girl, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
You know? But, you know, we vain. You know, you have tops. I have tops that I love wearing, and sometimes I can't wear it because it shows the scar. And it's just, I think I'm a little comfortable with it, but I'm uncomfortable the way people may look at me or I don't feel sorry for me or like you said, but if they ask you what happened, I have to share my story.
Use it as teachable moments, and that's what I do. You know, because you know they staring. You can look at, you know. And then that's when you can
because
say,
I probably would stare. You know, not meaning that, you know, being in a negative way. You see somebody with a scar, you might kind of glance and look. And
so you use
like,
that.
what's your story?
What's your story? And then you never know when you tell them your story. That person may need it to hear that, because you never know what they may be dealing with in silence. Because a lot of times we as women, we suffer in silence. And then once they hear
do.
your story, I mean, how you done made it through
Exactly.
different types of cancer,
Exactly.
you know,
Yeah.
multiple times, not just one
Multiple
type of
times.
cancer.
Yeah. Three types of cancer.
3 types of cancers,
Yeah.
but you're still here.
Yes.
You're still standing.
Yes.
Because you were born.
Oh
for
God, I
this.
don't know how strong you think I am.
I know you'd be like, good Lord God, can you not give me any more tests? Or give me some little bitty kindergarten
Yes.
tests. Don't give me the high school, college type test.
Exactly.
But, you know, I think that a lot of times, you know, what we're going through, you know, is just to strengthen us more for
It
the
is.
journey. And it's to give us a testimony for someone
it's
else.
preparing us for the next challenge or journey we may
Yeah.
face.
It's not always about us.
Yes, exactly.
It's for, you know,
Exactly.
someone else.
Exactly.
Because you never know who you may run into that may have the same types of cancer
Exactly.
that you
Oh,
had.
yes.
And they're like, well, how did you get through this? And that
Exactly.
was your family there. Family support, family and friend support is so
It's
important.
so important.
It is huge.
It's so important. It's very,
It
very
is
important.
huge.
Even though you try to stay away from them, but their calls and their texts still helped you heal. You know,
Even if you don't respond, they know.
they know.
They know that
They
you
know.
that you got it. You know, even if they
Exactly.
send a little text with a heart
Exactly.
or the praying
exactly.
emoji,
Exactly.
That's
exactly.
that's them letting you know I got you.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
know, and that is so
Exactly.
important.
And it helps you, you know, because nobody knows when they're in that dark place.
Nobody.
But when you have friends and family who cares about you and text you, that'll get you out of that
Yeah,
dark place.
because you never know. You may be at home having an anxiety attack,
Exactly.
or you know,
Exactly.
feeling low. You know, your mind may go back to a certain place.
Exactly.
You know, and then you may
Exactly.
get a text or a call from someone,
Exactly.
and it was right on
It's
time.
right on time.
Right on time.
Always right on time.
Yeah.
I always get those right on time calls
Yeah.
or texts.
That is awesome.
Always. It never fails.
And you have a wonderful family. I just
I do.
love your
I
family.
do. I do. Thank you so much.
And I know Nina you're her heart.
Oh, my
You
goodness.
know, you're her heart. God loves Nina. Nina is such a sweetheart.
We'll get a group text from Nina probably twice a day. Yeah, Nina.
Oh, she putting Nina on blast with the group text. I hate group text.
We might don't respond all the time, but you know we love you. You know we got you.
You probably here come Nina again
She about to text me now.
while you're on the air.
Exactly.
Too funny.
Yeah.
But if someone wanted to purchase your book, or to even, I mean, your story is so powerful, you know, not only because you overcame cancer, but abandonment. And it's
Yes.
something that so many women
Yes.
go through when they're diagnosed with cancer.
Yes.
But it doesn't matter what type of cancer it is. Statistically, it's there. Research has been done. And we know it to be
Yes.
true.
Yes.
So
yes.
if someone wants to get in touch with you to have you come speak about, you know, share your story or
Okay.
to buy your book, how can
Okay.
they do that?
Right now I don't have my website together, but I am getting that together. But you can email me at browndiamond86@gmail.com, or you can reach me on Facebook, Alfreda Smith, and you can reach me and you can inbox me. Okay.
Thank
That's
you
it.
so
You know what?
much.
Thank
for
you for
coming on the
having
show.
me.
It's been
Thank
a
you so
blessing.
much.
And
Thank you. I
met
appreciate
Alfreda. Was it Wednesday?
Yes.
Me and my son,
At
we
Silver
met
Diner,
her.
yeah.
We went to Silver Diner in Waldorf, and we had a beautiful dinner and beautiful conversation.
Yes, we did. Yes,
and she's
we
just
did.
a beautiful spirit. So I just
Thank
thank
you. You are too. Thank
for
you so
coming
much.
on the show. You're
Oh,
welcome.
you're
This is
welcome.
much needed.
Yes,
and
it
I
was.
do want to again emphasize the forgiveness
Yes.
aspect.
Yes,
You
it's
know,
very,
if
very
you
important.
are ever going to be whole and walk fully in what God has called you to be, you need to practice forgiveness.
That's right.
First, it
That's
has
right.
to start with you, and you go to the other person. And some people, when we was at the cancer center, even in Atlanta, and a lot of your cancer centers of America, you know, they're the big
Yeah,
cancer centers. They deal more with the holistic aspect of a person, and a lot of them
That's good.
have classes on forgiveness.
Oh, that is excellent.
Now, if that doesn't tell you
Oh, yes.
how important forgiveness is for you, not just only the spiritual part, but for medically,
yes, exactly.
you know, for your total
Exactly.
healing. And just like you can put my quote out there on Facebook, just tag me in it. Forgiveness is me giving up my right to hurt you for hurting me.
That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah. God will give me
deep.
some stuff and I'll be like, okay.
Dropping gems. Dropping gems.
Forgiveness is my right. Forgiveness is me giving up my right to hurt you for hurting me.
Yeah.
That was a hard pill that I had to swallow because
Yes.
I wanted to get back at people. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, exactly. But it's
You
not
know,
worth it.
You know, I was like,
We all been there.
you know,
done
you're
that.
not going to embarrass me publicly and do this, that, and the
Exactly.
other, and I'm not going to get back at
Exactly.
you. Oh, no, I'm coming for you.
But God do it best.
Yeah.
God does it best.
But God had to show me me. Isn't that something how God can get you to yourself? Just you and God. Because he has to show you you.
Exactly.
And you're
Exactly.
like, I did not know that all of that stuff was in me.
In me.
And that's when those valley experiences where he can just start digging out all
Digging it all out.
and getting all that stuff out of you because you're destined for greatness.
Yes.
You were born to be here today.
Yes.
You
Oh,
were
my
born to
goodness.
write that book.
Woo.
You were born to get your Brown Entertainment
Yes.
company that
Yes.
you have.
That's right.
And,
That's right.
you know, that was beautiful testimony in that
Thank
book.
you so
on, you know,
much.
what you want to do with
Yes.
your company.
I do.
So keep me
Enemy trying to hold
informed.
me back, but I'm a fighter.
You gonna that's right. You're gonna keep going.
Exactly.
But keep me informed so I can be there to support you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Appreciate
and
that.
I'll always be here to support you.
Thank you. And that's what sisters
You're
should
welcome.
do.
That's
support
right.
each other.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But I just want to thank you again for coming on the show. It's been a great conversation.
It has been. I
And
thought
I
I'd be
just-
nervous, but I'm calm. That's a good thing.
I love it. And I always end the show with the food for thought. But before I go into the food for thought, if you would like to subscribe to the newsletter that I send out every week that will let you know who's going to be on my show, please go to my website, which is wandabriscoe.org. And at the bottom of the website is a box that says join my mailing list. And enter your email address and you'll get updates on who's going to be on my show, any speaking engagements that I have coming up, and all of the things that I'm doing in 2020. God has just been blowing my mind all
Amen.
week
Amen.
with 2020 stuff. And I'm like, 2019 isn't over with, so he's still going to blow my mind at the end of 2019. So today's food for thought is called Enter His Rest. And I like this because it's a lot of times we get so busy
Yeah.
and we don't rest, but we have to learn that there are, and because we want God to do things immediately in our life, or something that we've been waiting on for a while, but everything is in God's own timing.
Exactly.
And so the scripture is Hebrews 4:3, and the New King James Version says, "For we who have believed do enter that rest." God promises that there are set times in our future to bring his promises to pass in our lives, but he doesn't tell us when they will be. Your set time may be tomorrow morning, your set time may be next week, or your set time may be next year. You'll get the phone call you've been waiting for. Your set time may be 2 years from now. You'll get a good break that will put you to a new level. My question to you is, do you trust God enough to believe that your set times are coming? Are you willing to wait with a good attitude? Are you willing to get a new perspective? Remember, that set time is already in your future. Don't let the negative thoughts talk you out of it. The way you know that you're really believing is when you have rest on the inside. You're at peace. You know the answer is on the way. You trust that God is working things out. Today, put your faith and trust in him and enter into rest. Know that God is good and he is for you. Your set time of favor is on the way.
All right.
I love that, because that also can go with Romans 8:28. All things work together for good to love the Lord. And we're like, okay, God, I've been waiting on something for 5 years. When is it coming? But you gotta
On his
like I said,
time.
on his time, and you have to find peace while you're waiting for that set time. So again, I want to thank you for tuning in today to the Wanda's Warriors broadcast. And I pray that you have a blessed weekend. And have a blessed Thanksgiving. Enjoy the time with your family. And remember, my motto is to live out loud. I repeat, Live out loud. Thank you so much and have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, family. Love you.
Thank you.